Hi everybody and welcome to the halfway point of our descriptive statistics unit part 1. Okay, for today we are going to focus on day 5, which is going to be a review. All right, to help us with this review, we are actually going to be working on a study guide because our goal today is to review our statistics. We're going to go over histograms, dot plots, box plots, centers, distributions, and outliers. So we're going to put all of this information in one handy dandy study guide. So that way everything you need to know for your quiz coming up is going to be right here in this one location. All right, so to work with the study guide, we are going to use all of this data to complete all 5 of the other boxes. So let's take a look at what our data is. Below is a frequency table of the number of times people ate ice cream in the month of August. So this is a frequency table. So let's see, one person said they ate ice cream 0 times. Okay, 2 people said they ate ice cream 1 time. 4 people said they ate ice cream 3 times. 6 people said they ate ice cream 4 times. And so on and so forth down the grid. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to use this data to create a histogram. All right, so for our histograms, along the x-axis, these are going to be your intervals for your x values, or in other words, these are going to be the number of times we ate ice cream. And if we're just going to keep the intervals, they started them for us, so we're just going to keep going. So it looks like they're intervals of 3. So 7 to 9, so the next one is going to be 10 to 12, 13 to 16, 17, 13 to 15, I apologize on that one, 13 to 15, 16 to 18, and then 19 to 21. All right, going along our y-axis, these are going to be the frequency. And our frequency just goes up by 1 each time. Okay, so let's take a look at how we're going to use our data from the frequency table to complete our histogram. So our first interval is from 0 to 3. So let's go take a look here. So from 0 to 3 is going to be your first 3 rows. So there's a frequency of 1, 2, and 4. So I'm going to add all those together and I get a total frequency of 7. So that means I'm going to come down and I'm going to mark my frequency as 7. And I can shade that in. Okay, up next, when we take a look here, we have our interval from 4 to 6. So I'm going to take a look at the top. So that's going to be 4 and 5. There is no 6, so we're just going to take those frequencies, add them together. 6 plus 7 is 13. So we're going to go ahead now and fill in our frequency grid to have a frequency of our histogram to have a frequency of 13. All right, at this point, I'm going to have you go ahead and pause the video, and I'd like you to complete the rest of this histogram. All right, so let's take a look at our finished product here. So here we have our frequencies. We see we go from 7 to 13 to 8 to 5 to 2, 0, and then a frequency of 1. All right, next up, let's take a look at the 5-number summary and outliers. So we want to find our 5-number summary, and we know in order to do that, we're going to use our handy-dandy calculators. So if we take our calculators, the first thing we have to do is input all of our data into the calculator. So let's everybody hit the Stat button, hit the Edit button, choice 1. We're going to put everything in L1, so we have to clear that out. So I bring up the cursor to highlight the L1, I hit clear, and then my down arrow. Okay, now I have to input all my data, but we have to be very careful because this is a frequency table. I'm going to put the number 0 in here once. I'm going to put the number 1 in here twice because 2 people ate ice cream once. I'm going to put the number 3 in here 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I am going to put 4 in here 6 times because 6 people said they ate ice cream 4 times. So I'm going to put 4 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and I'm going to now put the number 5 in 7 times. 6, 7. All right, so go ahead, continue the rest of your list in that fashion. All right, so now that we have the whole list in here, now we can find our 5-number summary. To do that, we hit the Stat button. We use your over arrow, so now we have the word calculate highlighted, and we're going to go to choice 1, one variable statistics. We hit enter, and now I have to use my down arrows to find my 5-number summary, and there we have it. So the minimum is 0. Okay, Q1 is 4. The median is 5, Q3 is 9, and my maximum is 21. All right, now we have to do a little bit of work to see if we have any outliers to our data. So the first thing we have to do is find the IQR, which is going to be quartile 3 minus quartile 1. So when I plug that in, it's 9 minus 4, which means my IQR is 5. Okay, now I can try to find my boundaries to determine if I have any outliers. So my lower boundary is going to be Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. So when we plug that in, it's going to be 4 minus 1.5 times 5. So go ahead, plug that into calculators. And we get negative 3.5. So anything under negative 3.5 would be an outlier. Now if I look at my data, nothing's under negative 3.5. So let's check to see if we have an upper outlier. So to do that, your upper boundary is Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. So when we plug that in, it's 9 plus 1.5 times 5. All right, when we punch that in to calculate, we get 16.5. That means anything above 16.5 would be considered an outlier. So let's take a look at our number of times we ate ice cream. Do we have anything over 16.5? So our outlier is 21. All right, next up, we're going to go ahead and use our data to create a dot plot. So let's take a look here. So to create a dot plot, the first thing we have to do is we have to make ourselves a number line for the number of times we eat ice cream. Now my numbers go from 0 all the way to 21, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that off. So I'm going to give myself 21 little marks. And then for every data point, I'm going to put a dot above it. So one person ate ice cream 0 times, so that gets 1 dot. 2 people ate ice cream once, so I put 2 dots above 1. Above 2, well, nobody ate ice cream twice, so we're going to skip that. Okay, for 3, we see 4 people ate ice cream 3 times, so we put 4 dots. So go ahead, pause the video, finish your number line, and finish the dot plot. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. So now that we have the dot plot, we can really see where our data is clumped together and then where it spreads out a little bit. All right, so let's go up now and let's work on some calculations and questions. All right, so number 1, how many people took part in the study? Okay, well, to find out how many people took part in the study, we have to add together all of our frequencies. So let's go ahead. We have 1 person here, 2 people here, 4 people here, 6 people here, 7 people here, 5 people, 3 people, 3 people, 2 people, 2 people, and 1 person. We hit enter, and there are 36 total people in the study. Next, we want to find out, well, what is the mean value? Well, the mean, remember, the symbol for that is your X bar, and we can let the calculator find that for us. So remember, all of our data is in our list. It's in your L1. All of your data is right there. So now hit Stat again, go over to Calculate and one variable statistics. If we look at the top there, there's our X bar, and we see that the mean value is 6.89. We'll round to the nearest hundredth there. Oops, I put that in the wrong place. 6.89. Okay, question 3 says, what is the range? So the range is the spread from the smallest data point to the largest number point. So if I take a look here, my smallest data is 0. My biggest data point is 21. So the spread is 21 minus 0, which is 20. Oh, I put that in the wrong spot again. 21 minus 0, which is 21. All right, next is the mode. The mode is the number that occurs the most often. So let's take a look. Which number occurs most often? All right, well, 7 people ate ice cream 5 times. So we're going to put 7 there for the mode. Now it says, what is the range of the middle 50% of the people in this survey? Well, the middle 50%, that's the IQR, which we found before to be 5. Now we have to describe the distribution. So let's describe this distribution. So if we take a look here, what is the distribution of this data? Well, we already determined that 21 is an outlier, so let's not use the outlier. Now take a look. What's the distribution? All right, does it appear to be somewhat symmetrical? Or does it occur to be skewed still? Well, I guess I could probably argue that both ways. I'm going to go with the idea that since we do have that there, that there are slightly more people on this side than this side. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to say that the data is skewed. And since the tail of this data, plus if you look at your histogram, we can also see that it looks like it's skewed. It's skewed to the right. So if it is skewed right, what is the better center, the mean or the median? Well, remember, whenever your data is skewed, we're going to want to use the median as our center because the mean is getting pulled toward that outlier. So what does the outlier affect more, the mean or the median? It affects the mean. Okay, the last part for today is to construct your modified box plot. Since it has the word modified, that means it wants you to plot the outlier as a star. So what we're going to do, just like we did in the dot plot, you're going to go through and you're going to give yourself 21 little marks. You're then going to plot your 5-number summary, plus you're going to plot your outliers, okay, and then you're going to go ahead and create it. Remember, since 21 is an outlier, that means you cross off the 21 for your max. Your new maximum is now going to be 13. All right, so go ahead, draw your modified box plot, and I'll put one here so you can check your work. Oh, I haven't put it there, so let's go ahead. So above 0 gets a point, above 4, 5, 9, 13, and then 21 is going to get a little star. I can then draw my box plot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow in class, we're going to go ahead and we're going to practice all of these, but now you have a study guide with everything in one location. Good job today.